Hey, we're glad to have you with us because it's Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I remembered that it was time.
Good for you. I'm proud of you.
It was time for opposite Saxes.
Yay.
And she's still Lauren.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm still Stuart.
Yeah.
And glad to have you with us, as we always are. We say that every week, but you know what?
We are.
We really mean it.
We're thrilled.
We really mean it. And in between, when people send us a text or a comment or so and say, I really liked last week's show, that makes us feel good because it makes us feel like we've accomplished something.
But even if they don't like it, I want to hear that too.
That's true. And we are brought to you again by our dear friend, Christine Dean. And Christine Dean is a multitasker. Thank God, because that's something that, because I ain't a multitasker.
No.
But, just like it says in her ad right there, if you're struggling to run ads for your business, you're looking for corporate strategies, she is connected to the internet in ways that I don't even know exist. So if there's a particular area that you need to promote within your business or your personal structure, reach out to her. You get a free consultation. Just reach out to Christine Dean, who is the DFW networking diva. And she's just a wonderful lady, and she's got lots of questions that she can answer for you.
I chuckle because on occasion I'll hear her talking to you, and she'll talk to you about something with the techie world. And it goes right over. You have no idea what she's talking about. It's like a foreign language to you.
Yeah.
And it's so funny.
And then she just started talking something about AI. And AI,
artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. Yeah. Well, I didn't know what AI was, and I don't even know what artificial intelligence is, but she's getting a handle on it, and she's incorporating it into a lot of what she's doing.
Maybe we should talk about that on one of our shows, because it's really
maybe you could invite her onto the show and all to share a show and talk with us a little bit about what it is and what she does. But she helps sponsor this show, and she produces this show. So we're very, very grateful
and thankful.
And we decided we were going to talk a little bit about volunteering, because we volunteer for a few organizations, and volunteering is good. Volunteering is also something you don't have to wait until you're retired to do.
We volunteered from the time we had the kids, when they were little tiny babies.
Well, and very often people will volunteer at their schools to help with events with the kids. My sister is a champion of volunteering, and she does it for a variety of reasons. Number one, she just enjoys doing it. But number two, she volunteers, for instance, for the Indianapolis Symphony. What a great way when you're talking about spending $40, $50 to go to a performance. Doesn't it make some sense that if you've got the time to volunteer to do it, you go, and not only do you get to see the performance, but you sometimes get paid for it. Sometimes
then that's not volunteering.
Well, okay, you get hired on, but very often you can volunteer for events that you get to be at the event
as an usher, usually, and that's what she does.
Yeah,
and she meets a lot of nice people
along
the way.
Yeah,
and she does that. She does theater.
Yes, she volunteers at theaters, volunteers at running events.
Right.
Now she started volunteering, and now she works at the Indy 500 racetrack. Just earlier this year, she was there for the big event this year, and it was an exciting race this year. But volunteering is a good thing because it allows you to participate in things that maybe you wouldn't normally do it. For instance, maybe you're into gardening, and you don't want to really go to work at a garden center, but maybe your city has a garden club. And you want to get involved and help,
as ours does.
Yes, maybe you want to go out and just or within your homeowners association,
that too.
You want to go out and there's a flower bed, and you want to help raise vegetables or flowers, and do something like that. Very, very often people volunteer at their churches and synagogues, whether it is for an event or whether it is, again, on a regular basis, helping out maybe in the kitchen. And having said that, we have some very good friends that work in soup kitchens helping prepare meals for the homeless.
Right.
The
shelters in the wintertime, especially, they need help terribly.
Absolutely. And I think it's fair to say that volunteering is a win-win situation, because volunteering, if you volunteer some time, and it can be as little as an hour or two, it could be a whole weekend or so, but it gives you a good feeling of helping someone else, and it gives that someone else a good feeling that somebody cares. And I have been volunteering with veterans organizations on a lot of projects over the years, and I get such a great feeling when I know that I'm helping a veteran feel better about something, whether he's indigent or whether he's just a little down on his luck. It's a great feeling. We have often
great feeling.
We've donated furniture and goods to nonprofit organizations.
When we can't volunteer, yes, we either donate goods or we donate some money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started out with the mentally challenged in Chicago with an organization, and was chairman, president of the group. And I helped out at the schools, for the PTA, for the synagogue, like you mentioned, hospitals are in dire need of volunteers.
And sometimes, and we did that when we lived in the Keys too. We had a lot of friends and all that would volunteer a few hours to just man a table, a desk at the front there. People would come in. Yes, may I help you? Yeah, I'm here to visit a patient. Okay, the second door down to your left. Or can you tell me where the gift shop is? You direct people, and you just give them a few hours of your time to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps when you've got the spare time. You don't want to be working all week long and then spend your entire weekends volunteering. But sometimes, if it's even one night out of the week, you find five people that can give one evening a week. You can cover some great volunteering opportunities. A lot of people volunteer their time with youth sports, with Little League, with soccer leagues, being assistant coaches or coaching or just helping.
Yeah, they need it too. They need
volunteering.
They all need volunteers.
Transporting kids to sporting events.
Yeah, my nonprofit for ovarian cancer, that I've met some really wonderful people. And yeah, you make new friends, new friendships, and it's a win-win situation for everybody.
And the alternate is, there's some people that may say, I am just too busy to volunteer my time. Well, then, maybe for the price of a pizza, you make a $20 donation to a nonprofit of your choice. And Lord knows there's plenty of those. We have an event here in Texas every year in September. It's a one-day event, and there are like 3,500 nonprofits that sign up. And then you can go online and just pick the nonprofit that you want to donate $5, $10, $100, whatever you want. And they raise millions and millions in that one day.
They do, yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing the money that you see going to some of the nonprofits. The bulk of the money going to maybe pet nonprofits. Yeah. And some of the other ones that you think they should be benefiting, they're not getting as much.
Yeah, I have often said
it's hard to rationalize,
and I'll continue to say that there are an awful lot of people that will donate lots of money to animal shelters, and the veterans nonprofit organizations are crying for dollars to help veterans, with mental health issues, with homeless issues and everything. But some of the animal concerns raise, always exceed their expectations and everything. And it's you kind of wonder about that. That's why, pick your areas that you want. If you want to help to donate a few dollars to medical causes, to church causes, to pet causes, to
there's the physical abuse of women. They always need, and the shelters for the women and their families. when they're not in their home any longer.
And when you have time, everybody knows how to Google now. Go in and Google some of these nonprofit organizations, and you can find out. There are even some sites that do that for you, and find out about some of those organizations, and they'll tell you that 95% of what is donated goes directly to their programs. There are others that'll tell you 60% goes to the program, 40% goes to just pay salaries and the back office expenses. You may want to say, well, I don't agree with that. I'm one of those people. I want to know that when I give $1, that 90 cents or so of my dollar is going directly to the people that need it, and maybe 10% is for overhead costs. And you can check that out too.
I would think there's also volunteer jobs that you can do from home, calling people, data entry, some sort of virtual or technical assistance. I would think that they could use, as opposed to always being there on site.
I think a lot of religious organizations do that. They need volunteers to just come in and maybe man their phones, whether it's once a year for a fundraiser that they have, but just to make calls to solicit funds, or maybe man hours for people to help out with certain things that they're doing. I know that there are a lot of nonprofits that do that, again, for feeding the homeless, for soup kitchens, for things like that. They'll sometimes just get a bank of people. Look, it started, I remember going all the way back with Jerry Lewis.
Oh, the telethon.
And the telethons and everything. And they would go on and they would get people to volunteer their time, entertainers to come in and volunteer their time to perform in order to help raise funds. A lot of the St. Jude Children's Hospital do things like that. The Shriners do that. Sometimes they'll bring a circus to town to help raise funds, and they need volunteers to help out with things like that.
It's always needed. It's
there's lots of volunteer opportunities that are out there, and it just reach out, seek them.
Well, and I'm happy to see some of my friends who still have kids in high school or college or even junior high. They're taking their kids to the soup kitchens or just anywhere. There's some ranches in the Texas area that need help with feeding the animals and bathing the animals. Our synagogue did that and helped this one ranch. There's all sorts of things that even the kids can do, and I think it's good for them to see it and to do it. I think
we have a good friend who has been in Florida for years, and he just got a piece of property here in Texas, and he is moving his equine ranch to Texas, and it is a facility for veterans to come in and through equine therapy, working with horses and everything, helping veterans with post-traumatic stress, and they can stay on the ranch for a period of time. Their immediate family can stay on the ranch, and all they have to do is just help run the ranch. And it's a win-win for the veterans, and it's a win-win for the families, and for
that's a ranch. Wonderful thing.
J.R. Smith, we love you. Really great,
fabulous.
We can't wait until you open up your ranch here in Texas, and all to help people. But just seek it out, do it online.
It's so easy to Google.
Look,
talk to friends, talk to neighbors.
I'm just thinking, call your local library and see. Sometimes if you enjoy reading to children, you've been reading to your grandkids. Now they're getting a little too old. You don't need to read to them anymore.
I'm sure the library.
Call the libraries and all, and they have a preschool reading program. You can go over and read children's books to kids. See the smiles on their faces, and get a good feeling for having volunteered that time to go and do something you enjoy doing, and it helps to benefit other people.
I've often thought about going to the local children's hospital, and where they have the preemie babies, and just going there and rocking them, holding them.
Because the nurses don't have
yeah,
the time
they
to
don't-
do that, and they don't have enough staff at the hospitals to do it. That sometimes those maternity wards
Yeah,
do need,
I think
and
about that.
gosh, what better to really
Mhm.
make somebody feel good than a senior citizen to go in and spend a little bit of time
Yeah.
in a rocking chair with a
I would
baby.
think the zoos, the horticulture, they could probably use the
Nurseries,
no, well, not the nurseries, but like we have a big
arboretums.
arboretum. That's what I was trying to think
Yeah,
of.
yeah. No,
And that's got to be very
al-
relaxing to be at an arboretum.
almost everything that you can think of. You enjoy playing board games. How about going to a senior center and sitting down and
That's
playing
right.
checkers with
That's
a
right.
with a senior citizen?
Yeah.
You might get your butt kicked too sometimes because those senior citizens.
Yeah, the retirement
They
homes.
know how to
too.
play checkers and
Yeah.
chess.
Yeah.
But and I've often thought maybe going over to one of the local shelters now that we've
Mhm.
our beloved pet has passed away. Maybe going over to a shelter and some of the animals that come in that are waiting for adoption.
I'm afraid for you to do that.
They just like people to come in and sit and pet the dogs and make them feel
I mean, it's a
loved
wonderful
and
thing
wanted.
to do, but then you see
You're
this
afraid
one
I'd
and you
come.
see the next one,
Yeah,
and
and you'd be
you
afraid
feel
I'd come
sorry
home with a
for-
couple
yeah,
of them.
that tugs at the heartstrings, boy. That's a
Yeah.
tough one.
Well, but that's the same thing with the children,
Yeah.
that in some of the adoption agencies, they need
Yes,
the
that's
kid,
true.
they need somebody to come in and just throw a ball,
You're right.
or play with them,
Mhm.
to make them feel good about themselves.
Wasn't there a big brother
Big
organization?
brother, big sisters.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yes,
it's
I
still
did that.
around.
Yeah.
That's still around. And all that helps kids who have not been adopted.
Mhm.
Maybe they've been in and out of foster
Foster.
care
Yeah.
and all. And somebody comes along and says, "Hey, how about you? I'll take you over to a ball game.
Yeah.
Let's go over to the stadium and go to a ball game." They're absolutely thrilled to be able to do something like that.
Absolutely. Well, wherever, I'm sure that there's
The
something for
important
everybody.
part is that it makes you feel good.
Mhm.
It'll give you a good feeling in your heart that you've gone out and volunteered, whether you took out your checkbook and wrote a check to help, or you gave of your time, which we both highly suggest is giving of your time, because you'll actually get more out of that than you will out of opening and closing
Absolutely.
your checkbook. So consider volunteering. We do it.
We
You can
love
do it, and let us know some of the organizations that you've worked with. Okay, go out and make it a good one.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.